We shall start by the skin retouching now, since we are done with the color grading of this image of ours. We shall start by opening it from the camera roll into our Photoshop. Yeah. So now we shall start by cropping. Our image to a size of 4 to 5, of a ratio of 4 to 5 that suits on our Instagram accounts. Yeah, this is the size that is used on our Instagrams, Facebook, which will be 4.5, this ratio of 4 and then 5 here, and press down enter on our keyboard. Here we shall start with the skin retouching, where I shall have to drag down this background layer of ours to this plus icon here, and then create another duplicate layer of this background layer, just creating a copy of it. Again, create 2 copies, and then we shall have to rename this as our color, layer, and then we shall come and rename this one as texture. And not to forget, you should make sure that the texture layer is on top of the color layer. Make sure that the texture layer is on top of the color layer. So now we shall create a group for these 2 layers that we have created by pressing down Ctrl G on the keyboard, Ctrl G on your keyboard, or just drag it to this icon here in order to group them. So now we shall name this group as our frequency separation. Yeah, make sure that you're only having these 2 layers in your group, leaving out this background layer aside. You get? You shall have to put only these 2 layers in our group, because in frequency separation we are having the colors and the textures. Then we shall start by setting our color layer. We shall set it, shall have to go to our filter, look for blur, and then the Gaussian blur, where we shall have to drag this slider of the radius down, and then we shall have to drag it up until when you see no texture in the model's skin color tones. Yeah, up to around 5. That is the fine Gaussian blur that I want to use in this image. And then we shall come to the texture layer and also set it by hiding the color layer, just switching off this eye here. We shall have to hide it and select the texture layer, and then come to our image panel, go down to the apply image. A pop-up will come of the apply image, and we shall have to set our settings of the texture layer by going to the layer and selecting the color layer. Going to the color, we shall use RGB, and then we are having a 16-bit image. For the 16-bit image, we shall use add as our blending option, and then we shall have to use a scale of 2 and an offset of 0, and then don't forget to press down the invert option to put our textures, to reveal our textures on a gray layer, just as you can see it here. You can be able to reveal all the textures of the model skin on this layer. And now I want to take you through how you can set textures of an 8-bit image, because you'll find an image that will give you here an 8-bit. Mine is giving me a 16-bit just because I shot using a camera setting of RAW. Yeah, I set my camera using RAW, and I shoot in RAW. So now some photographers use JPEG. That's why you will find some of your images having 8-bit, but mine is having 16 since I shoot in RAW. And then let me take you through how we set an 8-bit image. Since you find any 8-bit image indicated here, 8-bit. Mine I'm having 16, but let me take you through how you can set an 8-bit image. I shall start with the layer, selecting color, RGB as our channel. Now we shall use subtract here. Subtract for an 8-bit. Just leave the invert option unticked. The scale of 2, and then the offset of 128. That is the one for an 8-bit image. But since we are using a 16-bit image, we shall use color as our layer, RGB as our channel, the blending option of add, and then we shall only use 2 as our scale and leaving the offset at 0. Then checking this invert option. Remember, we didn't check this invert option for an 8-bit image, but for a 16-bit image, we shall check it and then press down OK. And then here we shall come to our normal blending option, and then changing to linear light. Linear light is around here. Yeah, to bring it back, and then you shall have to turn on the color icon, the color eye icon here, just right here. And then you shall have to come back and select the color layer, since we are going to start with the retouching now. And then remove the eye icon of the texture layer, and then come and select here in our brushes the mixer brush tool. It's just around here. For the guys that use the previous versions of Photoshop, we will come here on this edit toolbar tool, and you have to look for the mixer brush tool just down here. They will give you a list of various tools used in Photoshop, and then you have to look for the mixer brush tool here. Since we have it already, we shall just come and select it under the brushes, right clicking here and then selecting it. Mine is bringing a plus icon. We shall have to press down the caps lock key in order to change it, and we shall have to widen this circle of the mixer brush tool by pressing down the open bracket button and then the close bracket button. Now the settings of the brush that we will have to use is to select clean the brush, and then unclick this button here, because when you click it, it will reveal the load the brush. But we are going to use this clean brush and uncheck this, and then we shall leave this one checked, the clean the brush after every stroke button. You see this? Yeah, let me show you this. We shall leave it checked, and we shall come here to our custom, and we shall have to select custom, leaving the weight at 9%. Some of you are having 80% here. We shall check it as 9%, and then the load of 75%, the mix at 90%, the flow of 100%, and then we shall have to mix the colors of our model by mixing them according to the shape of the skin. Shall have to mix them like this. And you should make sure that you don't mix the colors of the nose anyhowly. You have to only mix the size, since we want to maintain these highlights here on the nose. We shall come to the neck area and then mix it in such a way. On the arms, and then we shall also come on the hand and then mix it according to the flow of the hand. Yeah, and then the fingers, don't mix them anyhowly. Just mix the colors just as the finger flows. You get? The moment you mix them anyhowly, you have to destroy the flow of the nature of the fingers. So now I will turn on the texture layer, and then you'll be able to see the way I have mixed our colors here. This is our before and after, before and after. And then we shall come back to our texture layer, select the stamp brush, the stamp tool here, and then we shall have to remove these blemishes and these skin imperfections from our model skin by pressing down the alternate key button on our keyboard and then clicking on an area that is fine and then dragging it to an area that is having pimples. Clicking at an area that is fine, pressing down the alternate key button, sampling that area, and then coming and covering all these areas that are having blemishes. Pressing down the alternate key button on our keyboard and sampling and pasting it on an area that is having blemishes. Yeah, then we are done with removing the blemishes from our skin model, from the model of us, from the model, and then we shall come and check for the before and after by pressing down this eye icon of the frequency separation group. That is our before, and then the after. Yeah, then here we are safe to go. Then we shall come back to the color layer and come and selecting this lasso tool. Make sure that the feather here is 22 pixels, and then you come and sample the model skin. Just sample a small area Now, like the forehead here, you have to sample it in such a way. And then coming to our filter, the blur, the Gaussian blur, then we shall have to multiply this radius of 5 that we used in the that we used at first while setting our color layer. We shall have to multiply it by 3 to make it 15, and then press OK. Then we shall have to sample this area. The reason of using the lasso tool is only to help us mix the colors of our model that we didn't mix using the mixer brush tool, such a way, and then come back to our Gaussian blur since it is already set to 15. Okay, again like that. Then shall come to the neck area, and then shall have to sample the neck area only. The moment you take the fingers, it will make some other imperfections in such a way. Then come to the hand area and also sample it like that. Shall have to come to the hand here also, and then sample like that. Yeah, and then that will be all with our skin retouching. That will be all with our skin retouching, and I'll show you the before and after. That is the before and after, before, after, before, after. Yeah. So now we shall have to continue with the eye whitening plus the color toning of our skin color tones. We shall have to do a skin color tone in the next video, and then the eye whitening, and then we shall be safe to go. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yeah.